The Maldives cave disaster, how 5 divers entered a dead-end trap. 5 divers entered an underwater cave in the Maldives. They were not walking into a monster movie. They were entering real water, real depth, and a real cave where every breath mattered. But the most terrifying detail is not only that they died, it is where they were reportedly found. Inside the cave system, possibly in a passage that did not lead out, a dead-end corridor. And if that is true, then this tragedy becomes even more chilling, because it means they may have believed they were swimming towards safety, when the cave was actually leading them deeper into the trap. I'm Commander Puzzles. This channel is about survival at sea, and the hard truth that rescue is never guaranteed. Today, we are looking at the Maldives cave disaster from one specific angle. Not the full gas math, not the spare tank debate, not the investigation timeline. That will be the next video. This video is about the cave itself, the passage, the silt, the possible wrong turn, the missing exit, and the terrible possibility that the deadliest moment may have happened before anyone realized they were in trouble. Because in a cave, death does not always arrive as panic. Sometimes it arrives as a simple decision. Keep going. Follow the person ahead. Trust the passage. Assume the exit is close. And by the time the assumption is wrong, the cave has already started closing the trap. In open water, the surface is above you. In a cave, the surface is behind you. That one difference may explain everything. Most people understand open water danger. You are deep. You are low on air. You have a problem. You go up. That is the instinct. Up means surface. Up means air. Up means rescue. But caves change everything. In an underwater cave, up may only mean ceiling. There may be rock above you, rock beside you, rock below you. The surface is not above you anymore. The surface is behind you. And that turns the entire dive into a different kind of survival problem. If something goes wrong in open water, you may still have options. You can ascend. You can signal. You can drift. You can reach the boat. But in a cave, every option must pass through the exit. There is no shortcut. There is no emergency elevator. There is no panic button. If you cannot find the way out, the surface might as well be on another planet. That is why cave divers treat navigation like life support. Not because they are dramatic, not because they are afraid. Because underwater caves do not forgive confusion. A reef can be beautiful and dangerous. A cave is beautiful because it is dangerous. The walls create the mystery. The passages create the adventure. The darkness creates the attraction. But those same things also create the trap. And in the Maldives disaster, the cave itself may have become the most important character in the story. The detail that keeps coming back is the possible dead-end passage. If they were near the entrance, the story looks one way. If they were in open water, the story looks another way. But if they were found deep inside a passage that did not lead out, then the tragedy becomes a navigation disaster. A wrong passage, a false route, a place where forward movement may have felt like escape, but was actually taking them farther away from survival. Imagine being underwater. Your light cuts through the darkness. You see a passage. You believe it is the way back. Your gas is dropping. Your mind is under pressure. Other divers are with you. You do not want to stop. You do not want to admit you are unsure. So you keep moving. The passage continues. Then it narrows. Then it changes. Then the water gets cloudy. Then someone kicks up silt. Then the wall looks unfamiliar. Then the exit is no longer a direction. It is only a hope. That is the nightmare. Not instant panic. Not one dramatic failure. A slow realization that the cave is not opening. The cave is ending. And if the passage is a dead end, every kick forward has to be paid back. You must turn around. You must find the correct route. You must do it with less gas than you had before. You must do it with stress rising. And if visibility is gone, you may not even know which way you turned. That is why the dead end detail is so powerful. A dead end does not just trap the body, it traps the decision. In cave diving, one of the scariest possibilities is the false exit. A false exit is not always a literal exit. It can be a passage that looks promising, a brighter opening, a wider space, a corridor that seems to match your memory, a direction that feels right because everyone is moving that way. In clear water, you might correct the mistake. You might see the difference. You might notice the shape of the cave has changed, but in bad visibility, under stress, with gas running low, the brain starts filling in the blanks. It sees what it wants to see. It trusts what it needs to trust. That opening must be the way out. That passage must lead back. That wall must be the same wall. That direction must be right, because turning back feels worse. The false exit is dangerous because it gives hope. And hope can make people keep moving when they should stop, reassess, and follow procedure. But underwater, hope is not a navigation plan. Hope does not replace a guideline. Hope does not create gas. Hope does not clear silt. Hope does not move rock. If 5 divers were in the wrong passage, the most terrifying thing is that they may not have known it immediately. They may have believed they were still solving the problem. They may have believed the exit was moments away. They may have believed one more turn would open the cave. But a cave does not care what a diver believes. The passage either leads out or it does not. Now we need to talk about silt. Silt is one of the quiet killers of cave diving. It sits on the floor. It coats the rock. It waits in the stillness. It may look harmless when the water is clear, but one fin kick can lift it. One hand on the bottom can lift it. One stressed diver turning too hard can lift it. And once it rises, visibility can collapse. Not slowly, not politely. It can go from clear to almost nothing. The cave becomes a snow globe, but instead of snow, it is sediment. Instead of beauty, it is blindness. This is called a silt-out. In a silt-out, your light may make things worse. The beam reflects back into your face. You see particles instead of passage. You see white cloud instead of rock. You see movement, but not direction. And if several divers are close together, the problem multiplies. One diver kicks up silt. Another diver reacts. Another turns. Another bumps the wall. Another stirs the bottom. The group becomes part of the disaster. The water itself becomes the wall. That is why trained cave divers use careful fin techniques. They avoid disturbing the bottom. They stay aware of the ceiling. They maintain position. They protect visibility like it is air. Because in a cave, visibility is not just comfort. Visibility is survival. If the Maldives cave became silted, then the divers may have lost the most important thing after gas: certainty. Where is the exit? Where is the group? Where is the line? Where is the ceiling? Where is the floor? Which direction did we come from? In a cave, when visibility disappears, every question costs time, and every second costs gas. A lot of people watching from dry land ask the obvious question: why didn't they just turn around? It is a fair question, but underwater cave survival is not that simple. Turning around requires knowing where around is. If visibility is good, maybe you can see the passage behind you. If there is a guideline, maybe you can follow it. If the group is calm, maybe everyone can reverse course together. But if visibility is poor, if the passage is confusing, if divers are low on gas, if people are stressed, then turning around can become its own emergency. Think about 5 divers in a cave. They are not standing on a sidewalk. They are floating in 3 dimensions. One diver may be higher, one lower, one farther ahead, one behind. Lights are moving. Bubbles are rising. Silt is spreading. The walls may look similar. The passage may not be wide enough for 5 people to calmly reorganize. And if someone realizes they may be in the wrong place, the group now faces a terrifying problem. Do we keep going? Do we turn back? Do we split? Do we search? Do we wait? Do we follow the leader? Do we trust our memory? Every option is bad if the gas clock is already running down. That is why the safe decision has to happen before the cave, before the silt, before the depth, before the pressure, before the fear. Because once the cave takes away visibility, the brain is no longer making calm decisions. It is making survival guesses. And survival guesses inside a cave are deadly. Now we come to one of the biggest safety questions. Was there a continuous guideline to open water? This is not a small technical detail. In cave diving, the guideline is everything. A guideline is the physical path back. If the light fails, you can touch it. If visibility disappears, you can follow it. If panic rises, the line gives you a rule. You do not need to guess. You do not need to remember. You do not need to debate. You follow the line out. That is why cave divers treat the line with such seriousness. It is not just equipment, it is the exit made physical. Without a line, the cave becomes memory. And memory is weak under stress. Memory gets distorted by fear. Memory gets confused by similar-looking passages. Memory fails when the water turns white. Memory fails when gas gets low. So the question is not simply, were they experienced? The question is, were they using cave procedures? Was there a continuous line? Was it tied correctly? Did it lead all the way to open water? Did everyone know where it was? Could they reach it in zero visibility? If the answer to any of those questions is no, then the cave had an opening. Not an opening to the surface, an opening for disaster. In an overhead environment, the exit must be more than a memory. It must be guaranteed by procedure, because the cave will erase your memory the moment silt fills the water. 5 divers inside a cave is not the same as one diver thinking clearly on land. Groups change behavior. People follow confidence. People hesitate to challenge the leader. People assume someone else knows the plan. People think, if everyone else is continuing, it must be okay. That is one of the most dangerous thoughts in survival. If everyone is moving, movement feels like proof. If nobody stops, continuing feels normal. If the leader goes deeper, deeper feels permitted. If the group enters the passage feels accepted. But underwater, group confidence can become group momentum. And momentum can carry people past the moment when they should turn around. In a cave, hesitation can save lives. But hesitation feels awkward. It interrupts the dive. It creates embarrassment. It forces someone to say, I do not like this. And that is hard. Especially when the group is experienced. Especially when people trust each other. Especially when the dive has already begun. Especially when turning back feels like failure. But the ocean does not care about embarrassment. The cave does not care about pride. A diver who calls the dive early may feel foolish for 10 minutes. A diver who waits too long may never get another chance. That is why the most powerful word in diving is not go. It is no. There has been a lot of discussion about whether another diver declined to continue or did not enter the cave. We have to be careful. Unless official records confirm every detail, we should not turn that person into a character in a story they did not ask to be part of. But the principle matters. In any dangerous environment, the person who says no can look weak in the moment and wise afterward. Not today. Not this depth. Not this cave. Not with this visibility. Not with this gas. Not with this group. Not with this uncertainty. That kind of decision can save a life. And it does not require being the most experienced person in the room. Sometimes less experience gives someone a clearer view. They are not normalized to the risk. They are not trying to prove anything. They are not trapped by confidence. They simply feel that something is wrong, and they listen to that feeling. That is not cowardice. That is survival instinct. The tragic lesson is that the safest decision often happens before the emergency, before anyone is lost, before anyone is out of air, before the cave is full of silt, before the dead end is reached, before the wrong passage becomes fatal. The best rescue is the dive that never starts. When people imagine a diving tragedy, they often imagine the final moment, the last breath, the empty tank, the panic. But in this case, the most important moment may have happened earlier. It may have been the moment they entered the cave without enough margin, or the moment they went deeper than planned, or the moment the passage became confusing, or the moment the silt rose, or the moment the wrong route looked correct, or the moment no one called the dive. That is how disaster chains work. The final event gets all the attention, but the final event is often just the last link. The cave may have won before the tanks were empty. It may have won when the exit stopped being certain, because once the exit is uncertain, everything else begins to collapse. Gas planning collapses, team control collapses, calm thinking collapses, confidence collapses, options collapse. The divers may still be alive at that point. They may still be moving. They may still be trying. but the system is already failing. That is the part that makes cave diving so unforgiving. A diver can still be breathing and already be out of survivable choices. The Maldives cave disaster is not just a story about 5 people. It is a warning about environments that punish small mistakes. Depth punishes gas planning. Caves punish navigation mistakes. Silt punishes poor positioning. Group pressure punishes hesitation. Overconfidence punishes experience. And when all of those combine, the final outcome can look sudden. But it was not sudden. It was built. One decision at a time. One assumption at a time. One missing margin at a time. That is why this tragedy matters beyond one dive. Because there will always be another beautiful cave. Another confident group. Another guide who knows the area. Another person who does not want to speak up. Another dive that feels routine because nothing bad happened last time. But caves do not care about last time. The cave only cares about this time. This visibility, this gas, this line, this depth, this team, this exit. And if the exit is not certain, the dive is already too dangerous. 5 divers entered a cave in the Maldives. They did not come home. And while the full investigation may answer more questions, the lesson is already visible. In open water, the surface is above you. In a cave, the surface is behind you. That means survival depends on knowing exactly how to get back before anything goes wrong. Not guessing, not hoping, not following the light, not trusting memory, knowing. Because once the cave fills with silt, once the passage becomes unfamiliar, once the group starts searching instead of exiting, the cave has already changed the rules. And the deadliest part of the Maldives disaster may not have been the final breath. It may have been the moment the wrong way still looked like the way out. I'm Commander Puzzles. Survival at sea. Rescue is never guaranteed, and sometimes the strongest decision is not going deeper. It is turning back before the cave gets a vote.